So I don't know if you guys know, but the game Air now has a new name, and it's going by Elyon, or Elyon. I don't fucking... Air was an upcoming MMORPG that I covered quite a few times in this channel. I played the South Korean alpha or beta, thought it was below average, and it reminded me a lot of Bless, so much that it seemed like it was a Bless clone, that they were just reusing assets. The UI looked the same, the movement, the characters, like everything screamed Bless, and I've talked about this 1,000 times. Pissed off the Air community, eventually we jumped back into this game once it hit Thailand. They had a beta, and after playing it, it felt much better. Didn't feel so much like a clone, but I guess many people that played it weren't too satisfied. So now the game's getting a name change, but some of the main or core mechanics are changing as well, including the combat. So here's an article on MMO Culture. They've actually made a few posts about this game. This is just my first time talking about it. So last week it was announced that Ascent Infinite Realm Air is changing its name to Elyon to better reflect the new direction the PC MMORPG is heading. I was listening to Omer from MMOs.com, and he thinks one of the reasons that they did this name change is being discovered by tags and search engines, because when you search Air, a million different things can come up. But Elyon, you're probably going to come across this game, which I think would be a good reason, but also maybe because, you know, all the information about Air out there isn't really doing it much justice. It seems like the main opinion on this game is that it's decent. But anyway, it was announced on April 1st, so people thought this was a joke. But Kakao Games is going to be the publisher for the Western server. The Korean media spoke to Elyon's product director recently, and here are some selected content. So here's a Q&A. And we're just gonna kind of go through this and read over some of the changes. Here's also some decent screenshots. Why the big change? The project has been all about realm versus realm content and competitions between players from the start. This is something I didn't really know, never experienced realm versus realm in my own gameplay, but after reviewing the results of the closed beta, which took place in South Korea and Thailand, it was concluded that in order for users to collide naturally, the degree of freedom in the sky must be reduced. So they're reducing sky combat, or just exploring in the air, which in my opinion is a good change, because I'm not too much of a fan of aerial combat, at least not with that being one of the main features of the game. One of the main features of Air was aerial combat. However, Elyon is more about ground level combat. How much aerial content has really been reduced? Airships will still be in realm versus realm mode, while content involving them, such as exploring floating islands for treasures and PvE combat against large flying monsters, will be there. How has Elyon changed from Air, other than the aerial combat content? The biggest change will be the feature which allows players to customize their skills and equipment. Key features such as boss raids, open world hunting, and many more remains. For the starting part of the game, we also have made significant changes to let players quickly access new content. Those who played closed beta will be surprised by this change. Okay, sounds cool. What is the key idea behind the name Elyon? Elyon is actually the name of the portal which leads players from the open world into the realm versus realm world, where player battles take place. It is seen as a gateway to obtain supremacy. I like that idea. While PvP and realm versus realm are emphasized in Elyon, players will not be happy if the game artificially tries to force fights without reason. Elyon's world view talks about two opposing factions which have been embroiled in conflicts and battle for over 100 years. Defeating the opposing faction is where the joy in realm versus realm comes about. There are many PvP modes as well, including 1v1, 2v2s, 3v3s, free-for-all battlefield, and even PvPvE areas as well. That's my favorite. The transition to Elyon sees the change from tab target from tab target combat to non-target. How does this compare to the system in Terra? Yeah, okay, before I even read the next part, they're gonna have to make some massive changes to the combat, because you can take away tab targeting, but you know, your skills and attacks will still kind of feel very stiff, like Revelation Online or Blade and Soul. Looks good, but it feels like it's meant for tab targeting. And Terra truly felt free. There was freedom there. So let's see how they answer this. Both games have different personalities. In Elyon, the main focus of non-targeting combat system is placed on customizing skills. The biggest difference with Terra would be the utility of skills, which varies depending on the target and environment of the battle. There's also a difference in the need for different skills depending on the scenario, such as when fighting bosses or in PvP. So yeah, I'm really wondering how this is going to play out. That's a big change. If it feels anything like Terra combat, that's going to be a huge plus. I think we all can agree that Terra has some really good combat, but I think that's just what this person was asking, so just because they asked Terra doesn't mean it's really comparable to Terra. How about the steampunk mechs we saw in Air? In Elyon, these mechs are mainly used for special scenarios rather than in general combat. Rip the mechs. So yeah, looks like that's it. There's a couple other articles here. Cacao Games and Crafton announces the name change. Ascent Infinite Realm gets new game title. Although these posts sound similar, the information within each post is probably a bit more revealing. How do I feel about this? I'm not really excited, but that's not because like it looks bad or anything, or the news doesn't sound that great. It just takes a lot to get me excited these days, and Ascent Infinite Realm is not a game that I was really excited for. Would I have played it upon release in the West? Of course. Would have made some videos, maybe would have enjoyed it for a few months, but I don't know if it's the kind of game or MMO that could really keep me around, even if I had all the free time in the world. Haven't seen anything more than articles on Elyon, so once we see some gameplay or actually get hands-on with the game, I think that will let me know whether or not these changes are that big of a deal. Are they that game-changing? And that will decide whether or not this will become a game that I think I'll commit to and that I would like to cover and share with you guys. Let me know what you guys think about this, and I will meet you down in the comments below. Until the next video, see you soon, friends.